Hi, and welcome back to Garden Dialogue. I'm Mike.
I'm David.
And right now we're doing something called the Facts of Life. David has created an acronym for the word facts, and in the last segment we did forgiveness, and right now we're up to A in facts for atonement or At-ONE-Ment.
Yes, atonement. Many people think of this word in the Christian theology and doctrine concerning the reconciliation of God and humankind. I find that as sort of an oxymoron because, had there needed to be a reconciliation, that would insinuate that there was some sort of separation, which I don't believe. What I have learned is that God is manifest through humankind. I see the atonement as the embracing of life and service to one another. I literally break the word into At-ONE-Ment. And for me, atonement dispels all situations of lack. It dispels all situations of gain. In its truest sense, it's the pure equality. But most importantly is that atonement reminds us of that old saying, or at least it reminds me of it, because I think of it quite frequently when I'm thinking in terms of, being on the train with strangers and, being out in the world. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you.
Good one.
That's a good one, isn't it? And so atonement keeps us at the core of our source, and it blinds us to indifference.
Which is a good thing. That's a good kind of blinding.
I think so, yeah. I think so.
Because the truth is that we aren't very different at all. We come from the same source.
Yeah. I mean, if you think in terms of, being different, we may all look different on the outside, but you can go to any doctor and they're going to tell you it's all the same inside.
Well, something you'll notice about the show is that me and David come from somewhat different perspectives. So some of you will be hearing me talk and say, what the hell is he talking about? And then you hear David and you'll say, well, that's brilliant, and vice versa. So that's a good thing, different perspectives, because someone can point that out and say, oh, well, that's a different thing about them.
Yeah.
And the most loving thing, regardless of our differences, which is really just an illusion, regardless of that...
I think rather than our differences, our perspectives.
Our perspectives,
yes.
Right. But for those people who understand the language, when I say differences, they may resonate more with that, hence different perspectives, right? The most loving thing that I can do within those different perspectives, you put the words together, different perspectives, is allow you to have your perspective. You know what I mean?
And vice versa.
Yeah. So that old saying, all paths lead to the same thing, we came to the same conclusion at the end, and it's just that you want to be loved and accepted, and I want to be loved and accepted.
Well, remember that conversation that we had earlier about, how we were talking about what is our real purpose behind doing this show. And even though we do come from a lot of times different angles, we still share the same purpose.
Yeah.
So that in itself is all that's really necessary.
Right, exactly.
In presenting and offering the atonement.
Right, absolutely. So, that's the atonement. So